Hello, hello, hello! It is that time again when we come together and look at another aspect of ourselves and our identity, or in this case, as you saw from the title, it is how others are affecting ourselves and our identity, and maybe how they're just a little scary sometimes. Over the course of these last few months, I've come to realize and really own the fact that when it comes to other people, I've recognized that I'm afraid of them. There's a fear attached to other people. And what does that mean? Why is there this fear there? I think it's important to, once you've recognized there is this feeling that has come up to the surface and has percolated, and now that I've recognized this feeling, I guess I need to kind of investigate it and kind of decide, is it a valid feeling or is it a feeling that I have now maybe just gotten used to? So I decided to investigate this a little bit further by making like one of those organizer that kind of branches off into the different things that are related to the main topic. Main topic being fear of people. And so what I found was basically there are 3 levels when it comes to this fear of other people. And then it really makes me wonder also at the end, kind of a spoiler, is it fear of people? And the answer is no, it's not. I'm not afraid of the person. I'm afraid of the pain associated with other people. And so let's take a look at what that means. So I think the best way to describe this would be we have 2 layers or 2 concentric circles. So on the outer layer, we have more of the front end stuff, more of the areas where it's like, this is happening first. This is my first thoughts, and this is what I have access to. This is what I'm thinking of, is the outer circle. And then the inner circle is what I was unconscious of. So it's more of the back end things that I didn't realize was happening and what was occurring, but they were there unconsciously, but all together it resulted in behaviors that, well, we'll see. And so that's the third category, would be the behaviors. The very first thing that came to my mind when I'm afraid of people is decisions. There are a lot of decisions that have to be made, and there are so many different ways that I'm afraid to make decisions, especially in front of others. It's playing in the background of my mind of, the whole song of, what if they don't like you? What if they reject you? It's just going, and it's like I can't stop it. It's like automatically when a decision happens, the music turns on and the same song is playing every single time. So the next layer, which would be more of the unconscious, so that center of the circle, things that I didn't even realize were happening, is that whole identity piece. This whole issue is connected every single time that I'm looking to others to help me with decisions. I'm looking to others to not judge me based on my decisions. It is affecting my identity and who I am, just for the sake of not being rejected, because it's that fear of the others and what they're going to say and do and think about me. And it's because I'm just not secure enough in my own identity and my own who I am. So I think it's important to be honest and open and vulnerable and share this little piece of my life with you, because I know that other people are struggling with this too. It's not just me, and I want to encourage you, if you are feeling this too, that it doesn't have to be this way. And so I think about like animals, and there's certain animals out there that will have a self-preservation mode to protect them, protect the most vulnerable parts of themselves. So like those little roly-poly bugs, they're kind of crawling along, and then once something kind of scares them, then they roll up into a little ball and they're protecting that inner part that is vulnerable and soft, and they don't want to expose that anymore. And that's exactly what I did as well. And so what that looked like in my life is many years of lying to myself, because it was easier to lie to myself than to face the pain of people. I don't need other people. That relationship was just, it was just out of convenience. It was the whole censoring thing that we talked about in that suppressed self video. That is something that it was just because I have to interact with people. And so because I have to, that was my self-preservation mode of making sure that I'm not rejected and being afraid of the pain that could happen with my interactions with others. And then the final area of my life that I would say had the biggest impact and still has a big impact on where I currently am, and that is I was avoiding deep, meaningful relationships. Just like a roly poly, I was folding in on myself and not exposing myself to even situations. I am a person who enjoys being with people, but I stopped that part of me because I just got so afraid and so worried about how others would perceive me. That became part of my identity. I'm the person that worries about who other people think I am. But to protect that, it was a matter of withdrawing and closing myself off. So it was a physical withdrawing. So not going out, not doing the things that I would normally have. I know I love to do. I love being with people. I just enjoy being with people, listening to them and what they have to say, and asking them questions and learning more about them. And that just became an area of my life that I just closed off because of that fear of pain and being judged and not wanting to be vulnerable. It keeps going back to that word, that vulnerability. I know that vulnerability is hard for everybody to do in one area of their life versus another. But if you're not even vulnerable enough to be who you are, then you're going to have very surface level relationships because you're not letting anybody in. And I have that with very few people. I would say with my husband and with my family. And that is about it. And I haven't been able to expose myself in a meaningful way to others. And that has taken a toll on who I am as a person. So one thing I know that a lot of people talk about is when they're going on their own journey of self-discovery, sometimes they have an event that is so traumatic that it affects them in a particular way and it causes them either, go one direction or another direction. But I never really had anything like that. I would say my experience is it's not one single event that has caused me to fall down into this horrible spiral of self-preservation and closing myself off. It's just been a slow decay towards this position that I'm in right now. And the bad thing about this kind of event is that it happens so slowly that you don't even realize it. I have been living this way unknowingly for so long. It became my normal. It became comfortable to me. And I didn't even realize it. My husband recently told me that he was proud of me for all the things that I've been doing lately because he's noticed that I'm changing. He said to me, changing back to the person that I used to be. I didn't know that I'd be tearing up. It makes me happy to hear him say that. But then it also saddens me because then I realize I unknowingly have been living in this despair, this cloud for so long. I didn't even realize that. And I think part of that is because it just happened so slowly, inch by inch, moving closer and closer, closing up more and more, getting to the point where I was completely closed and didn't even realize that. But yet, even close to him, I've started to live with more freedom and with more courage to be who I am, no matter what, no matter the cost. I feel more joy in life because I am not under this rain cloud. And so now that I've moved past it, I can see where that rain cloud was and how it affected me and how life is much better now. Now that I'm living more in the light. And I'm saying that in many different contexts. I'm living in the light, meaning I feel the sunshine on me now. I know that I've moved past a horrible place in my life, but I'm also in the light because I'm recognizing both the light and the darkness. It's shining down, and I'm really able to see the shadow for the object versus what's really there, what's in the light, and is it something that I even want to be in my picture. That is what we have for today. This fear is a very strong force in our lives that cause us to do things that maybe looking back is not always the best choice. So I hope that you learned a little bit more about yourself, thinking about what are areas in your life where you are closed in and blocking in the richness that could be around you. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye. Like the roly poly, I just really, what is this? What I'm trying to think of what. Bottled up? No. What does a roly poly do?